All right, welcome everybody to another not exciting day. Did you see the meme I put up? Did you see the meme I put up for the show? It was
The guy on the side of the road.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the guy stuck in traffic. That was, I swear, I was like, oh my God, that's so perfect. I feel like that's all I feel like is going on right now. We're just in some big giant traffic jam right now. Can't move. Look at these crazy tether movements. I mean, somebody is just dumping tether, dumping tether, dumping tether, dumping tether. The part that's really confusing me is how are they holding it up? Now, here's the other thing. Usually when people are dumping tether, the price goes up. Something has changed with that. So now as people are dumping these massive chunks of tether into the market, because that's all this is just a massive dump of tether into the market with a pretty big bag. Like these are all big bags being dumped of tether into the market. I'm not quite sure, but now the inverse is happening. So with these big dumps, the price is actually dumping also, right? I'm just listen. I'm going to go over a couple of the charts that I did for the members last night, and very interesting stuff that I kind of found. And you know me, the vamp, wanted to go, just a little bit crazy on charting. So probably spent about 3 hours, 2 hours just on this damn chart right here. This is the Chaikin money flow. I
You're
know
on my
that.
chart.
Sorry. Oh, there we go. This is the Chaikin money flow, everybody. This is the chart that I worked on like deep into vampire time last night, trying to get done. And I just want to go through this with you, and it's very significant. The number 278. Everybody's like, how the hell did you come up with 278 on the Chaikin money flow? And I'll break it down for you, right? And so what I did is I've always used the 128 moving average as my bull or bear market line. This has kind of been my decisive line to say this is a bull and or bear market. Now, the bull or bear market, you can look all the way back here, right? So we're going to go deep into this chart, all the way back. This is when this very first, now, the bottom was here. Here was, of course, the bottom. This is when baby bull Jesus was born, right? Now, unfortunately, on Coinbase doesn't go back that far on this at this time frame, but you can see clearly that this broke on the south side of this line right here, right, of this Chaikin money flow level that I put right here. And this is exactly, I just wanted to mark where the 128 was. So I marked where the 128 was, and you'll see this gets significant. Now, this is where the 128 broke bearish, right? This is where our bear break was of the 128 right here. So I also marked that, snapped a line across it. And you know what? Take a look at this. So you see the 128 as it marches up here. Look at how well this works out. So this flat line up on the top represents my bullish 128, right? This is my initial bullish break, but this was really the bull market. When the Chaikin money flow did get over this level, I mean, you can see it right above the 128 here all the way. You know, you had a couple dips down to tap and test it. This was a really monstrous dip right there. You see it drop below. We broke back over, though, bullish for that last push over this 128 line right here. This what I've described as the 128 line on that level. And then now this is finally, you had the bearish break when that 128 crossed. And you can see everything below this line is bearish. And I'll detail this out on the other side also. So now you've come down and you've broken the historic 128 on the bearish side. Now this is on Coinbase, so you've broken the 128. But here's the important thing on this chart right here that I will show you. Look, there's the zero level. You truly don't break bearish until you break into the zero level, right? And here you can see on the Phoenix, because we have more history with the 278, right? You can see you have the history here. The super bull above this yellow line, right, that we just showed you. There's the super bull above this. Now, I like Phoenix. There's a lot more volatility here. So you can see every time you're above this yellow line right here, you're above the 128 right there, and you're super bullish. Now, when you break lower than this, you see you're bearish below the yellow 128. And then this is where that initial cross happened, right there. And you can see, look at how well this level works out. that it never broke bullish again over that line. Now, when you cross, and the reason, this is how I came up with the 278 number. So what I did is, here is your 0. This is 0, okay? This is where the 128 crossed over right here. All right, let's go in. Let me zoom. Zoom, 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 zoom. I'm sorry. This is where we broke 0, okay? And you see, this was the last fall. So this was the very last fall of the bear. So look, you were below, you were sub the yellow line. There's your yellow line right there, your 128. So when you were sub this line, you were bearish all the way down here. Now, you didn't truly break super bear until you crossed over the 0 line. And look, this is exactly where you crossed over the 0 line. Now, this is where this gets interesting. This also works out super perfect because look, this is exactly where you broke bullish. This would have been the place where the 128 crossed over. Everything past this 128 crossing was a bull market, right? Completely a bull market. Now, here you were at the very bottom, but I wanted to use the 128 as my barometer. So here is my 0 line. I've now placed my 0 line using the 278 indicator, using the 278 input on my Chaikin money flow. And that allowed me to find this bull and or bear last break. Now you can see how close we are here on this, right? Now this 0 line called the last bear drop, and it also called the 128 run up. So I'm just watching this. So if you guys want to go over, now remember, once again, everything we do is not financial advice, okay? I gotta say this. Oh my God, so many freaking retards. We do not give financial advice on this show, all right? I got to get a disclaimer at the beginning. I got it on my videos. Some idiot tried to call me out the other day. Guys, Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies are not securities, okay? They are not securities. And we're not a damn call signal. Jesus, people. We're not a signals channel. People think we're a damn signals channel. I'm like, we are not a signals channel. We give you targets, but they're my targets that I'm playing for myself. Do your own research, okay? So this 0 line right here is where we're looking to hit to call the last. Now, if I get down here and we bounce strong off here and we start to go bullish again, I will then say, hey guys, you know what? The bottom's in. All right, I've got a lot of indicators right now that are just telling me the bottom is not in. And this is another one that I've just added to my arsenal, the Chaikin money flow. I've just added to my arsenal until I see this baby headed back up, right? That was it. Look, going up, bullish, going down, bearish. You show me where we're going up. Ain't happening, okay? Ain't happening on any of it. I did all the charts too. I've got Coinbase over here. I got Binance. I've got everybody. And I'm watching this thing. And guys, listen, this thing is falling out of the damn sky. Look at this. This is the 30. Now, I switched over to use the 30. It defaults at the 20. But I switched it over to the 30 just because crypto's 30 days, you know, it was 20 or 21 days because that's kind of the average that's traded on the regular stock exchange. But I don't use that because crypto does trade 24/7. So I put in a 30 as my average. So look, you can see that we have broken 0 on all of these, right? And you can see, listen, the important thing that I look at when I look at all these is if you look really closely at all of the USDT ones, they're much more bearish than the USD ones, right? Or the ones that have regular standard fiat, the exchanges that are using fiat. So very important to recognize here that the USDT. Now, the original reason I went to look at this is because I was looking at my tether chart over here and I'm watching people make these big dumps and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I come over here and I see, oh, well, there's where a bunch of the big dumps are coming from. They're coming from this, from Phoenix. I mean, this is Phoenix dumping and it's also Binance dumping. These USDT exchanges are dumping huge bags out of the marketplace. Nothing's really changed. Listen, I was looking for this J-hook style pattern. Now we got the small hook here. This might possibly be my J-hook pattern playing out. It's just doing it super God, I don't want to call it bearish because we're just moving sideways, right? It's going down. Now, here's the good news. When indicators, to me, when indicators are falling or resetting in a bullish or bearish pattern, okay, and the price isn't moving, to me, that always indicates, the opposite is true, right? Now, we are going lower here, right? We're definitely going lower, but we aren't substantially going lower, right? This indicator, I would like to see, I would be uber bearish if this baby was, the price was moving sideways and this was moving a little more sideways for me. Now, it is dropping, but I always like to see the inverse to make me either bearish and or bullish. Like, we're dropping here, but I'd like to see a much more substantial drop with this drop right here. Now, there's a long way to go. I mean, you can see that there's this, to get deep on this chart, you've got a plunge to get down to the bottom, to get really deep here, right? But, looking at this chart, I mean, the price is just not freaking moving. We're just not moving, right? Now, on my bubble chart, here's my bubble chart for my RSI. Now, this is a long trade, short trade line, and we did break this, right? I was telling all the members, hey, guys, watch this. You guys should all have your bubble charts, especially all the members. There's a video on how to make your own bubble chart. And, this is super important that you guys understand that both these lines right here, these become long and or short trade lines, levels. So these levels usually tell you, hey, the price is going to go up, price is going to go down. And we've just been bouncing inside of this rejection box forever. We finally broke south of it and we are headed down. Now, if you want to, you take a look at your RSI chart, right? You take a look at your RSI chart. Now, this thing, just like the MACD chart, can go freaking deep, right? I mean, you can go real. And if I back this baby really deep up, this thing can go real deep. So listen, we're nowhere near the bottom here. We have broken south on this. This isn't bullish at all. This is more bearish by nature. Okay, so we're just watching this baby play out. But I like to, for my own, when I'm trading and I'm looking at my charts, this is the number one thing I see. When it breaks south of this, I'm like, whoa, look out. This is not healthy. This is not bullish at all. This is bearish when you break this line right here, okay? Same thing. Okay, last chart I think I'm going to do for everybody here. Actually, I have two charts. I'm going to do the ADX chart, then my historical volatility chart, and then that's it. Now, looking over here, okay, this is our one-day ADX chart. I got my 12-hour ADX chart. I am watching this thing to see if they touch. If this blue bearish ADX line touches the orange bullish ADX line, you usually get a very bearish reaction from this, right? You get a dump. And I'm watching this. I'm watching my 12-hour. If these two come together, I will get a dump. But I swear to you people, until this breaks below this wedge or above this wedge, nothing is going on. Nothing is happening. It is literally a giant game of wash trading for me until we break one of these levels, right? I mean, we got to break below 6K or we got to break at now it would be above 7,600, right? So, I mean, this is the big wedge that I picture us in. This is my big wedge, A, B, C, D, E. And this is my mega wedge I picture us into right here. And I still A, B, C down here. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm waiting for. I want to come down, test this wedge. And I think we're in this big wedge pattern right here. And we'll see what happens. But I'm nothing. I'm still uber bearish at this point. There's nothing that's made me, and doing the Chaikin money flow indicator last night, it made me, that didn't help. Didn't make me any more bullish at all. In fact, it probably made me a little more bearish. I'm still sitting 70-30. The daily, now, very, very, very important for everybody to understand that when these two indicators come together, okay, when they come together, they usually bounce off each other, okay? So I'm watching for this, right? So there's usually some kind of a bounce. Look, came down to tell you. So this is your bearish indicator. All right, hold on. I'm going to take this off. This is your bearish indicator. This is your histogram. So this is your histogram, your ADX histogram. This is your bearish line. This is your bullish line. So when the histo and the bearish indicator touch each other, they usually like to bounce off. See, look, comes down, bounces off. Look, comes down, bounces off, right? Didn't bounce there, but came down, kind of moved sideways, bounced up. Look, came down, bounced off. Came down, bounced off. So there is a history of bouncing off of this histo line. Listen, I know a lot of people are saying that this bear market is over, and I see Twitter for you guys also, right? And I see Twitter, you know, I see a lot of bullishness on Twitter, and it's hard for me because I know that on the daily has called this going all the way back, the bottom, all the way back through history, right? And I know that the last time we had a verified bottom was right here, which has now been, you know, I mean, it's 70 some days, right? You know, 70 some days since we've had a verified bottom. And I would like to see one more bottom put in here before I get bullish on this market. And that's what I'm watching for, right? And now here's your trend line again. Come down, hit this trend line. Hit the blue line right here. Come down, hit our, you know, let's do this. Bounce here. And then I'll be, oh man, I can't wait. Next time this baby comes down here and touches here, I can't wait to be like, oh my God, trading is so easy. Isn't this awesome, everybody? Just look at your ADX chart. This is so easy. I don't know why you guys are losing money, blah, 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 right? I mean, everybody should have an ADX chart set up. Right? Everyone should have an ADX chart set up that tells you on the daily when the bottom has occurred throughout history. It's very easy to find, very easy to do, very easy to see. A lot of bearish. Okay, last one. Last one. All right? This is my come the fuck on chart. Okay? And this is exactly where I'm at. Just seriously, this trend line has held every single way all the way down here. Look at us holding this damn trend line. Look at it, how amazing this trend line is holding right here. Now, historically, when we have broken under this trend line and come back up, see these green lines, green line, right? When we've broken south of this trend line, see this hook right here under the trend line? This is bullish. Breaking south under this and then coming back up is bullish. That's if this can manage to get down, and it doesn't want to. This is staying bearish to me. If it's on top of this trend line to me, it is bearish. Once this goes under here, I will be like, oh, you know, all right, woohoo. You know, I will be ready to be a bull, and I will be very bullish on this. But I don't see, once again, this is all telling me that this is all uber bearish for me. I also did a weekly ADX chart and a monthly ADX chart. We went over this a couple videos ago. Nothing has changed. Those are all just kind of parked and sitting the same. Longs to short ratios. Listen, look at the long RSI climbing. Look at us coming into balancing out our longs versus shorts, right? So our longs versus shorts chart is coming to an equilibrium. This can be two things. I mean, you know, are people just dumping? You know, are people dumping shorts? Which is, you know, I don't know. But every time people think that, you know, when this chart gets down here and it starts to move up, you know, you start to get into these longs, right? Now the long squeeze is going, right? This RSI now is moving into a long squeeze area. Now everybody can start to be like, oh my God. You know, it's funny. Why can the longs never be overbought, but only the shorts can be overbought? I never understood that on Twitter, right? I never understood that. Second, the longs are the second the shorts are overbought, the market just goes, everybody on Twitter is going, it's a squeeze coming. But the longs can be overbought forever, and there's never anything about the longs being overbought, right? Yeah, so it's just kind of funny. All right, so listen, I am going to turn this over to the Chone Master. Any thoughts on that? What do you think of that? The Chaikin money flow thing.
Well, the Chaikin is something I've been watching as well because they're putting in a lower low on the daily, and we're just continuing to lose money flow, money momentum. We had our low, we put on our high, we'd held initially a higher low, and that broke, and now we're clearly putting in a lower low, finding a little support here, but it just brings me back in time to other areas, other times where we get tested a much lower low, down to here and then back down to here in the end of May here. So this can go a lot lower. A lot of money can still be pulled out of this market or not flowing into the market until we find some sort of a turnaround. But as Vamp said, it's just we haven't gotten a lot of data this week in terms of price history. All we're seeing is our EMAs or MAs continue to flatten out. But certain things are still coming into view in the sense that it's so hard to jump on a bullish bandwagon when there's so many indicators, bearishly speaking, that are showing, we're not done yet. We haven't been tested. We haven't been shown as, support confirmed. And as the longer we go sideways, some may call it accumulation. Personally, still, I've always felt that this is just kind of the manipulation, as Vamp said, the wash trading continuing as exchanges try and defend 6K, and just how unnatural, how unorganic this price action just seems to be, ranging this tight on the daily chart for so long, past 2 weeks after a very volatile move in our Twitter FUD, basically makes you seem like, rock and roll.
Thanks,
basically
buddy.
makes you seem like, have a going.
All right,
Basically
everybody.
makes you,
So listen, I'm turning this over to the Chon. He's going to guide you guys through his amazing TA, and I am going to be Disney Dad. All right, take it easy, everyone. Thank you so much, Chon, dude. You're a lifesaver, brother.
talk to you soon. Have a good night. All right, guys. So going on, we're looking at our daily here, and we're looking at the equilibrium that we've been holding for the past 2 weeks here. I put a tweet out a little bit ago talking about. Oh, I got to reset this here. That was my old tweets. There we go. There we go. There it is. Basically talking about our range here and our equilibrium and what would be a notable break in the price action, either bullish or bearish. Now we're basically wanting to see short term, if we break bearish, 63.46 on the USD chart, okay? That's going to be something that will be notable because so far that's our low we put in right back here way when we actually hit that initial retest. Very clean. This is the hourly chart here. Same with the bull break. I mean, bull break sparingly. We're talking about $100 or so, but 64.91. A break of that area will be notable as well because we have not also broken that area for almost 2 weeks. And then after that, we're talking about where we wicked out 6800s or where we bottomed 6100s before we actually made our move there. So these areas are something we kind of keep watching because our equilibrium is holding on the daily for 2 weeks. Unprecedented. I mean, unprecedented in terms of a lot of the action that we've been used to seeing, basically from our bull break to where we are now. We're, approaching day 14. How much time do we have left here? So we have an hour, 20 minutes left, okay, for our closing candle to come in. Now, what is this candle looking like right now? Let's zoom it on in. I get them on Coinbase here, USD chart. So right now, what do we have here? We are bearish engulfing our previous day's candle. Now, we had been above our EMA 12 2 days in a row here. We closed above here, closed above here. And remember, our previous day, 2 days ago, we wicked out on our MA 50. Okay, wicked out again here. So we keep finding our lower. We keep putting in lower resistance level. Remember back here, which was our 100, yeah, MA 100, now MA 50. Okay, we're getting lower and lower in terms of our resistance lines that we keep hitting. Okay, a little buy up here, but again, we're talking, this is $20. These wicks are not wicks. The bodies are telling us there's just nothing happening here. Tightening body, tremendously low volume, tremendously low volume. All right, and we keep putting in this equilibrium. We're putting in lower highs, higher lows, and this can continue. This can continue for a little bit longer. I keep saying a little bit longer because, you know, our Bollingers can actually get a little tighter on our daily chart. They were really tight here. They're wider than they were a couple weeks ago. They definitely can get tighter. And that's important. That's important to keep an eye on because this can take us out for more days. And we can still range between our two BBs as low as $61.60, as high as $6,600. Kind of to the penny. All right. Overall mega resistance, our red line here, MA200 at 7,100, flattening as our price does. Remember, our MA200 on our daily has killed all of our runs. Here, you know, we haven't even touched it. Haven't even touched it. Look at that. Here, haven't even touched it since March. Okay. So we talk about near term, short term. Well, that's our longer term. Okay. That's the rock right there. And frankly, MA100 is the rock because of what we saw here. So breaking these is very notable if we can get there. But right now, they're all above us. They're all above us. And everything we have is resistance right now. And our supports are subject to be retested. Either this candle of volume, okay? We're still putting in these higher lows, okay? We're still putting in higher lows, but we can break those and set a new trend. RSI still in our triangle here. Lower highs, higher lows. Apex closing. This can take us November 1st. This could take us past Halloween. Okay, what's everybody doing for Halloween? Any interesting Bitcoin crypto-related costumes? So we're kind of watch our RSI because we still have a couple more days where we can actually range tight. Remember, we're still under 50. Areas above 50 is where we can break bullish here, right? Now our Stoke was actually volume today. Okay, we've got rejected here with our lower high. Remember, we haven't touched 100 since August, right? On our leading, we actually didn't get there on our trailing. Lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Okay, now the break of bearish here on our leading indicator, okay, hasn't played out completely here. We can still range in this area, and there is still running room to get us back to 100 on our Stoke, on our daily, which again, we haven't touched in several months. We didn't get it. We got as high as 97 here in late September. So lower highs, higher lows persist. And remember, this can take us ranging for quite some time as well. Quite some time, you know, into the end of the year there. MACD, again, we're putting in barely rising histograms, but they are positive. We're still negative on our both of the indicators there. They're pretty tight. We've been wider here, you know, down here, okay? But we're still negative. We're still kind of stuck here. We didn't really move much today, and the flatness of our barely rising histograms is just so suspect. You know, nothing going on here. That's been coinciding with our CMF that we keep seeing, you know, falling here. Now we're finding support. Let's take a horizontal here, and we can see that right there we have found support here previously. Here, a little chop in this area. Look at right there. Right there. So this area here, right at the 0.08505 negative, has been shown to find some historic support initially speaking. And that's kind of where we are right now and have a little crook here. Okay, but we got to get way back up here. We got to ask ourselves, where's that money flow coming from? Where's that volume coming from? Where's that additional cash injection? Now, is Tether kind of dump again? And we're going to see that kind of cash out to cash in, to cash out into cash, to actual cash by converting Tether to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to cash, which is what happened 2 weeks ago. We're going to see another repeat of that, only just to wick us off one more time. Speaking about wicks, I wanted to bring up, this is BitMEX, actually on their site here. Talk about stop loss hunting. So the 15-minute here, about an hour ago or so, we had these wicks bring us down to 63.82. Now let's say you took some longs, okay, on these equilibrium holds, higher low, okay. Well, and you put a stop loss, okay, at your break even. Well, you just got stopped out if you entered here. You got stop lossed out if you entered here. here. That wick took you all the way back to here, back to what, 4 days ago, right? Below the closing candle body on the 15th. So you actually had to have your wick, your stop loss lower than this wick here, which was actually, it's nasty because they just hunted you. Because most logical traders would actually have set their stops more or less in these areas here to break even from their trade. And with a more conservative, I guess, more liberal stop loss to actually have you lower than the wick, but kind of in this range, then you wouldn't have been stopped out. And you see this, the price just slingshotted back up there. Like it never happened. Although we're putting in lower lows still on just crappy volume, right? Crappy volume. And same thing here. We're still ranging. Remember, this is one of your USD charts, like the Coinbase, like the Bitstamps of the world. Let's look at crypto market cap. Market cap 209 billion, still over 200 billion. We've broken it several times. But we're still hovering above our 24-hour overall crypto. This is all of crypto, under 10 billion, several days in a row. Several days in a row. And that's been consistent with this low volume environment. Bitcoin dominance 53.6. We've been as high as 56, 57. Okay, we have basically been showing this range of Bitcoin, and that little bit of a dip, that 2-3% dip of Bitcoin dominance, has put some money into some specific alts, right? Some alts have actually had some good runs of recent, mostly low cap stuff, nothing too crazy, mostly pumps, some follow through, some not. But these alts and these charts are taking advantage of this sideways, very low volatility price of Bitcoin, which is allowing the stability of the alt market to have these pumps move on and continue. I don't have much to add in terms of longs and shorts. Vamp really summed it up. We're definitely losing momentum. People have scaled out on some of their shorts, but if you watched my earlier show, you guys can find me on YouTube as well. I'm Chonis Trading. Remember to like and subscribe at Chonis Trading. I put out stuff there every day, and I talked about this on my show about how we're putting in this this rising triangle, this ascending triangle, with a upper top here and a higher low stepping up the ladder, as long as we hold this area here, right? Boom, 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 boom. And I want to hold here and build on this and do another shot at retesting our all-time high zone. This should be a lot bigger font because that's meaningful. Remember, this is where we were back here in April. Remember our April short squeeze? We got rejected here again back in September, end of September. Chilled out for a while. Little rise, chilled out for a while. This can continue. And this pattern is normally a bullish pattern where you keep pounding and pounding and pounding until you break through. And that could take us still several more months to even do that. But this has to build. And right now, again, RSI, all the indicators are showing it's basically static, not overbought, has money room. We've actually seen a little nice momentum here in our longs. Vamp talked about a long squeeze, and we've actually seen this is in September where we had our bullish move of Bitcoin that ended. And now we're much lower with a similar move with sideways price action. So we have sideways price action, longs are rising. This was rising price action, longs were rising. It's hard to say if this is a setup for longs to basically get overextended, which they can be, or allowing this chart to reset because it was very oversold. Very oversold. What's up in the chat room tonight? Hey, who's here tonight? Who is here tonight? Sam, Gabriel, Crypto Cotter, Maliki San, Tony T, Brian C, Doji News, Spoon WZD, Rs Turth, Arthur H, Andy Trulio, Bogdan Ivan, Michael, what's up, James, Martin, Crypto Vince, Peak, Zavedi, Bartan 30, Bert, Sam, Jerome, hey Tone Loke, L, Crypto Light, Don Bitcoins, Wolfo Crypto, Crypto Havoc, Crypto Cotter, Hora, huge fan, Paul, what's up, guys? Kevin, John Lee, Michael, Xpex, Diane, Brian, who else we got? Who else am I missing? TD, Luke Nax, James, hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for joining me and Vamp tonight. Kind of keep going. A couple more things I want to chat about here, and then we can kind of leave you with some live Bitcoin action. Here, let's talk about Coinbase. Coinbase, okay, USD, right? USD chart. What's up, Gabriel? What's up, Martin? And I want to talk about a couple things I see here. So I'm looking over here. I can't make this any bigger. I apologize. But if you see here, a green here is our bid. Our red is our ask. Our red member people that own Bitcoin. Green is people that want to buy Bitcoin. And we see a lot of coin here kind of stacked up, ready to be sold, if you will. Okay. And I don't see a lot of buyers stacked up. There's a big bid, presumably, potentially 50 BTC, 63, 64. There's a lot of money here, just ready to just dump it if the price can fill up there. If it goes a little bit higher. Looking at our depth chart, you know what I like to look for. I like to look for laddering. I like to look for where the walls of. Kind of zoom out just a little here. Give ourselves a couple $100 in either direction. And we see kind of our areas where there's kind of people either stacked to load or stacked to liquidate, you know? So I don't see this as a wall. I see this as an area where a liquidation wants to happen, you know? So if we get about 6,500, okay, you know, there's coin prepared to be sold there, you know? And then it takes a while to get, you know, into an area here where there's a little more of that. You know, on the bid, there's more bidders back in the low 6,100s than I see in this range here. So a bear break I see can easily take us back down to 61 quicker because I don't see a lot of money from 64 pretty much down to 62. And there's some decent walls of support there. And really at 6, that's not a lot of coin. 1,700 coin, that's really not a lot. I've seen, I mean, historically speaking, there was so much more on the exchange. So I don't see it very strong. I'm looking at the overlay, EMA 12, EMA 26 here, right? And can I keep that up? Nope. And we're basically seeing we've just been ranging on our blue line here, our 20, our 12. Okay, it's flat line. We like to see our EMAs cross, right? We get a notion of we're overbought, oversold. Dead stick is dead stick, not seeing anything here. And then our book here is pretty nothing there. Oh yeah, Omni Explorer. We're looking for major tether movements. Okay, we'd seen, you know, back and forth movements to Phoenix, movements, you know, back the liquidation. This 500 big 500 move here, where they apparently burned the tether. Took it out of circulation and destroyed it, and then $100 million back to the treasury. But no big moves since 25th, so no big moves in the past 3 days. Keep an eye on that. Let's go back to the charts here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the weekly, because not only are we finishing our daily here from now, we are going to be finishing our weekly. So let's just do the weekly on all the charts. And so I'm on it here. Bitcoin longs, Just keep it clean. Bitcoin longs. That's a nice candle. That is a nice candle. That's a Maribozu candle. Very little wick on the bottom, very little wick on top. Okay, assuming we close out like this. Nice bottoming there. Okay, remember, we were way oversold in the daily. The weekly, you know, nice bounce there too, okay? So longs look good this week. That's a good looking candle right there. Go back to our shorts for a second, and then we'll look at the other charts. Shorts, not great, but not terrible. Tight body range. You know, last week's candle, we had the long wick here that brought us back. We gave back some of that, but not all. So that's really, you know, holding, whereas longs were definitely had a much better candle looking there. Oh, do we open up futures yet? We did. We just opened futures, didn't we? Let's see, CME. Right? Yeah. Yeah, market open. So yeah, do we have any kind of a gap? Let me get it in my VPVR. So I think, when do we open? It was 22 through. Yeah, no gaps. Gaps look clean. Gaps look clean. Gaps look clean on the open. Yeah, market open. Remember, there's still that gap on the half hour. I'm still watching that. Down here at 61.40 on the half hour, and that's the closest nearest open gap still on the CME futures chart. And all gaps get filled at some point. It's been about 2 weeks. Could take longer. But if that gets filled, I'd be more optimistic to go more bullish. Until that gets filled, I know we got to get back down there at some point. All right, let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's go to, we can use stamp. Okay, let's go back to our weekly, because we're talking about our weekly candle closing in an hour. Come on. Remember, we're still in this really tight equilibrium here. Okay, this is one of our tightest. This is our tightest. Of course, this is our tightest. This is our tightest body of the year. Remember, we had long wicks here. Tight body here. Real tight body here back in the beginning of the month. But longer wick. Whew, that is the tightest little doji since July of 17. And I've looked at this too. I remember this July of 17. We go boom, and then we go boom. Look at that. Very since that one there. Very tight body. Very low volume. This is Stamp. Stamp has more volume than Coinbase. Very low volume. I think it has more volume than Coinbase. Just can't get much lower than that. Can't get much tighter than this. We could open up one more week. We could open up 1, maybe 2 more weeks in this apex here before we're just kind of out of it. Before there's an equilibrium break. Before we're putting in a lower low. Remember, we can still go as low as 57.50 and still be going with a higher low, or at least holding that support. And that's important. That's important, because when is a bear break truly a bear break? And when is a bull break truly a bull break? You know, a bull break to me, legitimately bull break. I mean, seriously, if we get back above 7K, that'd be notable. You know, even if we wick there on the cash side, the USD side, that would be notable. A close above 7K, close above 7.4 would be even more notable. A close above 8.4 would be even more notable. Something up here, okay? But bearishly speaking, once we break the low of the year, once we break 6,800, 66, 67.50, okay, then everything is on the table down here. Everything is on the table. And that's something that, as a trader, I consider. I just, you have to keep an eye on. You have to keep realizing that crypto Twitter, which I'm a part of, a lot of people are very bullish. And listen, there's no reason to not necessarily be bullish because we are putting in a higher low. Okay, we haven't sold off yet, but there's not enough of a reason to think that we're about to bust out in some moonshot or break into areas when you're going to see a real differential of time and space here. And this is important. And that's what we're going to be watching for as the next couple weeks go on, because this is going to continue. This is going to continue, and it can continue for 2 more weeks of sideways price action until you actually see what's the real differential is kind of chart. And remember, we're watching our alts, watching especially our higher coin alts, to see if we can actually find the next step in our bull breaks, talking about Ripple, talking about ZRXs, ADAs, Lumens, remember the Coinbase 6 one, stuff like that. These are things that we keep watching to see if they can build on their most recent of bull breaks. Now, I want to talk a little segue off of crypto and Bitcoin. I want to talk a little bit about the Dow Jones and kind of the overall U.S. equities, because I do believe these will play a big role in crypto in terms of money flow that could potentially still come into the market. We saw a terrible week last week in the Dow. A little buyback, a little pullback from the brink on Friday. Remember, we are basically now getting closer to these oversold conditions where volatility and where bounces, intraday bounces of hundreds of points, will be expected. But this is such a double top. Look at the divergence, the bear divergence on our RSI. Okay, as our price rose, we're losing our momentum. Okay, our OBV, our Stoke, our MACD, our chalk and money flow. Yeesh. Lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, higher high on the price. Note our volume increasing as well. Now, because we are getting closer to oversold conditions, don't be fooled by the open tomorrow. I actually expect maybe we'll find some stability. Maybe you're going to see some, bullish stability news to try and keep things looking good, at least in the open. See if there's some buying, some building of some rally. Intra-week, we could have some stuff happening. But overall, it's scary here. Now we've been here before, right? We've been here in 2016, where we broke our MA 100. We retested MA 200. Look how high we are. Look where our MA 200 is at 20,000. Remember, we touched it twice in 2015, and we're 4,600 points above it right now. Okay, then we were 3,000 points. So we're many more points above, ranging to go. And then these are areas where we have tested as support, and we did it pretty quickly here. We could potentially do it quickly again. Remember, also the election right now, over the next week and a half, is kind of basically add some turmoil to the markets as until that gets ironed out. And we saw that similarly in 2016 when the election was over. You could see a lot of change. A lot of money on the sideline was waiting to see what happened before they took the next step. I think similarly with what happens in a week and a half will have a large impact on what happens from this point going forward. Just real quick here, SPX closed outside of the lower BB. Yes, you can use these for overall stocks here. Remember, we'd broken the lower BB and closed below it back in 15 as well, twice. Barely here on the second attempt. Here we held it. Here we broke it. So we're oversold, right? On the weekly, we can come back in, right? Try and build, try and stabilize. How far that RSI fell on the weekly. That's low. Look at that. That is low on the SPX. But we can go lower. Of course, we can get really low. Well, we went down to 15 in 2008, but we're not there yet. Not even close. But I expect volatility. You can definitely see the volume increasing. These candles here. Keep an eye on that. If that continues, you're definitely going to see some more volatility. And potential, remember, we get lower areas that can definitely be tested. QQQ, NASDAQ, similarly, double top area, pulling back, currently finding support, 61.8 fib level. Right there. Massive sell volume. Note the MA100, note the MA200, way lower. The NASDAQ was the biggest bull run of them all. Right? So this needs to hold, and big tech really needs to stabilize that. Okay, it has to drive that kind of a market. What else? What else? Ethereum still at 200, right? Look at this triangle. Super tight, super tight, super tight. This is the weekly here. Look at that. Look at that. Dead stick. We're basically what we opened at here. Open 202.12, current 202.09. We are 3 cents off. That is a cross if I've ever seen one. Look at that. When was the last time we were that tight on the weekly in Ethereum? Have we ever been that tight in the modern era? 48. That was pretty tough. About 77 cents back in April of 17. Very tight here. Still, remember, we're still ranging very low on our MAs. Very low on our MAs. Daily, just nothing. It didn't do anything today. Just hitting right against the middle BB. MA12 resistance. No volume. Declining volume, rising price. Suspect. Let's look at Litecoin. Same thing, same chart, more bearish. Remember the past 3 days, Ethereum was up 3 green, get down 5 green. What's my TD on this? Wow, we got as low as a 7, did a little flip, still another 2. This just looks, this looks rough. RSI is fading. The chop I like. This I don't like. Reminds me of this. Reminds me of this. Reminds me of this. That kind of fall off a cliff looking to it. It's weak. Doggy coin. The one that started it all, right? End of August. Finally found support. MA200 daily. Right there, right? Lower BB. Little pullback there. You know, this was the first that popped, really popped noticeably. Still haven't come all the way back to 786, but still quite a pullback, right? Wanted to see that follow through after this here. The top was right here. Nice move, 200%. What else sticks out? GBTC, remember this is a stock. This broke the bearish. This broke bearish. Is this a forerunner to Bitcoin? It does trade at a premium. That is notable. You know, so you could account for that, but this could be a forerunner. Excuse me. About what you're seeing here. Ooh, pardon me. All right, guys, I am gonna. I'm losing my voice. I talked a lot today. All right, thank you so much for joining me in Vamp tonight. You can find me on Twitter. I'm Epic Chonis. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to leave you with a live look of the Coinbase Bitcoin chart. We still have about 45 minutes left in the day. And we're going to see how we end here. And next week's price action is really going to be interesting. You know, are we going to go another more week of nothing, of just that sideways price action? Or are we going to actually find that definitive move that we've been waiting for, that we thought was coming, you know, a couple of weeks ago, but that actually turned into just nothing of just sideways price action, just this crazy sideways price action. Boom, 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 you know? We're watching a tightening RSI continually. We're watching a declining stochastics. And our chunk of money flow is just yeesh. So we got 45 minutes to go in this candle here. Our recent swing low, our recent swing high. We're going to watch these levels here. But when we break these, keep an eye on that. That's going to be notable. Here's our triangle here. Keep an eye on that as well. Our Stoke still has one more running room to get up a little higher, right? Just not there yet. Just label this here real quick. And our chunk of money flow has just been super weak with chunk and no money flow, right? Low, high, low. Now look at, we might hit this area, back test it, right? We're back testing it. Oh, where might that label go? We're back testing this. You know, this was our support. Now it's our resistance. So look for a back test of our line here, right there. We're watching our RSI. Ah, they got a little pop here. What is this? What is this? Ah, what is this? Ah, what's going on here? Something happening? Something happening. Look at that, right when I was going to sign off. RSI pops, stock. On this, go to a shorter time frame here. We're seeing a little volume here, maybe. Got a little pumpy pump going on here. End of day, make this candle look a little better. Let me get a tighter. Actually, I guess we can watch Phoenix here. Look at this. Look at on MEX here. How high do we get here? 6448. Look at that. Yeah, stop loss hunter. Look at that. Did it again. Stop loss hunter and pump. Nothing new. Now we're just watching for follow through. Watching for follow through. Little pump. Yeah, stop loss hunter. You know, that was it. Now we can get the follow through. Well, let's start talking. Hold on a second here. There we go. All right, let's keep an eye on this. We're going to look for follow through. We're going to get the money flow, or is this just a little end of day fake and bake? Watching MEX here. Remember, I want to see leverage here. We'd seen the stop loss hunt earlier here, and there was the push. But how is this candle different from this candle? Different from this candle? Not seeing the follow through. Is anything else going on right now? Let's take a look here. Little ZRX, little bat. Let's go alts. Salt. What's Ripple doing? Dope, nope. Yeah, I mean a little poppy, but again, that volume. Let's stick with Bitcoin for a moment here. This is the 15-minute. Everything else is the daily. I mean, are we really crass? We just went up, what, $30 here. On Coinbase, we had a higher pop on Phoenix. Look at that. No follow through. So far. All right. Did you load your shorts here? Who filled the short here? Anybody? Who filled the long here? Anybody? Remember, all those little pumps, we just not seeing the follow through. Boom, boom, boom. Lower low, lower low, lower low. MEX went even a little higher, didn't it? All right. Actually, it broke a little higher than the angle here, didn't it? But are we going to see that follow through? Let me go to let's go to 4 hour here real quick. BB, what did we touch? Remember, we were outside. Remember, a 4 hour BB doesn't like to be outside there. It just kept the equilibrium. It's a better looking 4 hour candle than we had the last one, that's for sure. Boom, fallout through. So how does this change our daily candle? Now it's like a hanging. It's like a hanging man. Now we're above our MA12. Sorry, EMA12. How does that change our weekly? It gave us. Yeah. Did that put us higher? Yeah, it did. Oh, look at that. That's not fair. I mean, spinning top. It just gave us a little higher wick. Made our cross into a spinning top. Look at that, tight as can be. Well, that was fun, huh? That was interesting. Still, remember, still bearish on our stoke. Chaikin money flow. Remember, we can get a little higher here and reject this line once again. And look at our RSI. It's poking above. It's poking. Hasn't closed. You know, this was a fart. So far, this is a fart. 15-minute is up. We still got a little time on this candle here, though. Still got a little time on this candle. Let's see if we pull back. Take a look here. Thunder. Yeah, nothing changed there. Nothing changed there. What's our RSI on our hourly here? Yeah, I kind of just reset everything. Were we oversold on our 15? Yeah, we were oversold on our 15 down here. Yeah, that just reset that, didn't it? Right there. Right there. Just poking. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to leave the chart live for you. And listen, don't be fooled by these moves here. This looks more like a stop loss Hunter candle again, because we had seen it in MEX with this little wick here. Where do we break? We break. So we broke this area. We wicked off exactly right here where we wicked off previously. Still, equilibrium is still intact. Lower lows, higher highs. Candle close, lower time frames. Day and the week close in a half hour. The month closes in 3 days. Stay tuned. Big Chonis signing out. Remember to follow me on Twitter. Remember to follow me on YouTube. For me and the VIP. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you guys later. Talk to you soon.